Hey, what's going on? Arden and Ben from At The Letters, brought to you by the all-new 2019 Ford Ranger. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is bad? Question mark? Let's find out. Ben, I thought there was something wrong with Baseball Reference this morning when I pulled it up and I saw Vladimir Guerrero Jr. with an OPS plus of 20. 20? What's going wrong here?
Yeah, it's a combination of a few things, I think. One, the major leagues are really hard, and Vlad Jr. is facing that for the first time. And then two, he is getting out of his approach. So what we're seeing is pitchers are really executing. They're staying away from the middle of the plate against Vlad Jr., and that's great because if you do miss over the middle of the plate, he's probably going to do some damage. So they're staying on the perimeter, and then they're getting him to chase on breaking balls off the plate. We've seen that from a hitter who doesn't usually swing and miss. He's actually chasing breaking balls off the outside corner. So right now he's getting into trouble because of that. Umpires aren't helping him out. They're calling those pitches borderline in favor of the pitchers. He has to make that adjustment, but we have a lot of minor league information, a lot of scouting information that says that he'll do it.
I've been so struck by how careful pitchers have been with him to this point. I mean, it really does speak to his reputation, but if you look at players with at least 30 plate appearances this season, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. has the lowest percentage of pitches seen in the strike zone by a lot. He's around 30%, and the major league average is somewhere from 42 to 45. I mean, that is a huge discrepancy, and like you said, he just needs to be more selective. He needs to force pitchers to come into him. He's not going to get those calls that you were saying. You know, like it or not, umpires aren't going to give a 20-year-old in his first taste of the big leagues, in his second week of the big leagues, the benefit of the doubt on those borderline pitches. But he has to continue to take those ones that are outside the strike zone, not expand, not chase, and force pitchers to come in.
Right, and the pitchers aren't going to change what they're doing either, because what they're doing is working right now. They are getting Vlad Jr. out. He's struggling a lot, so there's no reason for the pitchers to come in and offer something right over the middle of the plate. In the meantime, he's going to have to make that adjustment, and of course, we've seen other hitters do this too. Mike Trout struggled when he first got to the major leagues. His dad, Vlad Sr., actually had really similar numbers to Vlad Jr. for his first 9 games when he was a rookie with the 1996 Montreal Expos. So Vlad's in good company here, just has to make that adjustment, and I would expect that it'll happen before too long.
Mike Trout's first 40 games in the big leagues, he hit .220. Had to go back down to the minors, then he returned to become the best player on the planet. So it's completely natural to see a player struggling in their first week in the majors, but it's obviously not what Vladimir Guerrero Jr. wants. And the Blue Jays also don't want to see those struggles continue over to the defensive side, where we've seen Vladimir Guerrero Jr. boot a couple balls at third base. He looked so good early in those first couple games, but since then we've seen things regress.
Yeah, and I think that's what we're going to continue to see with Vlad Jr., because we know he has the arm strength. We've seen he has the range to go over and get balls that are pretty tough to really reach on the diamond, but at the same time, he hasn't had that consistency where you know day after day, inning after inning, what he's going to give you defensively. So of course, the Blue Jays need to see more consistency from Vlad Jr., and that's going to be a work in progress that might last longer than those hitting adjustments.
That's the thing at the majors, you know, every pitch is so important. Like, you cannot lose focus in your pre-pitch setup and the way that you are reading the way the catcher's setting up and what the pitch might be and where the ball might come off the bat. And like, you just have to be ready for everything. And when the Blue Jays talk about routines and preparation, that's what they mean with Vladimir Guerrero Jr. It's, are you absolutely locked in and focused on every single pitch? Because every single pitch in the majors is really important. You're dealing with a different clock in terms of runners running down the line. You're dealing with different exit velocities. The ball comes off the bat a lot harder, a lot more consistently. It's looked like Vladimir Guerrero Jr. has been challenged by that to this point. Look, we're only 9 games in. This could turn. You know, if he has a good 3-game series where he makes a couple good defensive plays and he goes 5 for 10 with a couple walks, he could turn his numbers right around, and that wouldn't be the craziest thing to see. But right now, the numbers don't look great on the pitch.
And it's unusual to see for a player that we're used to seeing just dominate at every level, but of course, this happens to a lot of major league players.
That's Ben, I'm Arden. It's At The Letters, sportsnet.ca/podcasts.